purpose, and perspective before. So what I want to start off this lesson with doing is having you turn to someone around you and talk about what author's purpose is in writing. So go ahead and do that for me.
Author's purpose is basically the central idea, the main idea of why the author wrote this thing. And there can be, basically, there can be multiple reasons why. He could have wrote it to explain something. He could have wrote it to describe something. He could have also wrote it to tell you something that's an important topic. But
3, 2, 1. Can someone share what they talked about, what they think author's purpose is? Yes. Very good.
Why they wrote it, they could have wrote it to describe something, explain something, just like the main reason why they wrote it.
Yeah, very good. Very good. These are all correct. What I have up here is the definitions, and you guys have all hit them perfectly. It is the reason the author chose to write or decides to write a text. It's either to inform, persuade, or entertain. Author's perspective is very similar, but it's more descriptive. It's how the author feels when they are writing. So it's a lot about their backgrounds, their interests, their opinions, and it's a lot about what the language they use in a text. Yes. Yes, exactly. That's perfect. Today what we're going to focus on are these two learning objectives. These are what I want you guys to be able to do at the end of the lesson. So the first one is I'll be able to identify the author's purpose and perspective within a text. The second one is I will be able to find text evidence that supports the author's purpose and perspective of a passage. So today with this lesson we are going to be annotating this passage together. I would like you guys to follow along with me. Anything I say to highlight or underline, I would like you guys to follow along and do that as well. I'll be asking questions also that I want you guys to just call back to me or talk to someone around you about. And then there will be things that I'm going to have you write to the side. Just keep noting. That's going to help us with answers or answering questions later about this passage. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, so please follow along with me. What is special about bats? The sun is setting outside a cave in the dimming light. Some creatures are going to bed, but there are others that are just waking up. Inside a cave is a small animal that has been sleeping all day while hanging upside down, holding onto the cave ceiling with its feet, its wings wrapped around its body. As the sun disappears over the mountaintop, this creature spreads its wings, lets go of the ceiling, and swoops out of the cave into the darkening sky. This nighttime flyer is a bat. Although this bat species is called the Indiana bat, this animal can be found in states across the U.S. Indiana bats weigh 1/4 of an ounce and are about 2 inches long when they spread their wings. This species is just one of 1,200 different bat species worldwide. I'd like you to take your yellow highlighter and highlight that sentence. This species is just one of 1,200 different bat species worldwide. And many of these species look different. Some bats are much bigger. The giant golden-crowned flying fox of the Philippines can weigh about 2.5 pounds and has a wingspan of 5 feet. Please take your red pen and underline that sentence. The giant golden-crowned flying fox to 5 feet, please. I'm also going to have these up on the board so you can look off if you're not confused on which sentences. I'll put it up for you. Yeah. These are the two we're going to underline. Other bats are the opposite. The Kitti's hog-nosed bat, also called the bumblebee bat, that lives in Thailand, weighs less than 1/4 of an ounce and is only 1 inch long from wingtip to wingtip. As I showed up here, these are the two sentences you'll be underlining. Underline that last sentence as well with that red pen. Then to the side, I want you to just make a little note that these are what we're comparing. They're comparing two different bat species and their sizes. So just make a little note like I did up here as well. I'll give a few minutes for that. show me your eyes so I know I can move on. We are going to keep going just for time's sake. Although bat species can look different, many of them are similar in that they are active at night. How do they get around though in all that darkness? Bats have an amazing skill that allows them to maneuver even when it's pitch black. I want you guys to use that red pen and underline amazing skill in that third paragraph. That is a great example of the author's language. I want you to underline amazing skill in that third paragraph. That is a good example of how we're going to figure out the author's perspective later with that language that they're using. Instead of using their vision to navigate, they use their senses of hearing to know where obstacles may be and to avoid bumping into anything in their path. As the bats sweep through the night sky, it calls out a noise in the direction it is flying and listens carefully. As the noise travels through space, it may hit a tree. The sound bounces back off the tree, which makes an echo. If the bat hears the echo coming from the direction it is flying, it changes course to avoid hitting this tree. Does anyone know what this skill is called? It's often... Very good, yes. Whales also use this in the ocean. While flying around at night, bats can often be helpful to people. I want you to grab your highlighters and highlight bats can often be helpful to people. In that fourth paragraph. When irritating swarms of mosquitoes fly by on a summer evening, bats may swing by for a meal. Bats can eat over 1,200 mosquitoes in just 1 hour. This makes for more pleasant outdoor barbecues and evening walks through the park. I would like you to underline more pleasant. That is another great example of the author's language that they're using when writing. The more pleasant, it's at the bottom of, yeah, perfect. People who grow plants for food should also want bats around. I'd like you to highlight that first sentence in paragraph 5. People who grow plants for food should also want bats around. In addition to mosquitoes, bats like to eat moths, flies, gnats, and beetles. These are bugs that can hurt crops. With damaged merchandise, farmers are not able to make a profit from their crops. In 2011, scientists studied how corn grew when bats were not around compared to when bats were present. The scientists found that when bats were present, the corn was healthier. So we're going to take our red pen and we're going to underline those last two sentences, starting at in 2011 to healthier. I also have it up here too, if that helps you as well. People who want to grow more mangoes, bananas, agave, or cocoa should hope for a bat to visit. We'd also like to highlight that as well. I have these up here too. Oops, let me go back for it to help you guys follow along as well. Bat species such as the lesser long-nosed bat and the Mexican long-tongued bat, like the flowers that grow on the trees and the plants that make these fruits. These bats like to eat the sugary nectar the flowers secrete out of the base of their petals. Does anyone know what the word secrete could mean? Yes. Yeah, that's a good guess.
I feel like it means sweet, like sweet and sugary.
Yeah, secrete with the flowers, you know that, yeah. It actually is to produce and release something, but those are very, very good at having to do like using those context clues. But to the side, I want you to make a note that is the definition of it. To produce and release something. That is right here, and the word is secrete. head into the middle of a flower to drink the nectar, may brush against the flower's pollen, which may stick to the bat's fur. When the bat flies to another flower to snack on more nectar, it may shed a little bit of the first flower's pollen onto the next flower. This pollen allows the next flower to grow fruit whose seeds will turn into new plants. Do you have any idea what other species could be that does this as well? They have to do with pollen a lot. Yes. Butterflies are one. Very good. Those are both the answers. No, that's okay. Yeah, that's very good. Tying in the weather aspect of it, bringing in science to it. It's very good. We're going to move to the last paragraph. There are multiple reasons to want bats around, and people should do all they can to protect them. I'd like you to take your highlighter and highlight people should do all they can to protect them. That's in paragraph 8. It's the first sentence. We're going to highlight people should do all that they can to protect them. Exactly, yes. Keep that in mind for later when we talk about Homer's purpose. That's a good thing to pull out. If people live near caves or trees that are the habitats of bats, they should not disturb them. The number of bats in many species is declining, so do all you can to protect these fascinating creatures. Use that red pen and please highlight that last sentence of paragraph 8. So since we read this, we know that it is about bats and facts about bats, how they survive, how they are different in their species, and how they help humans. But I'm still a little bit confused on what the author's purpose is in writing this and why they chose to share it with us. So what I want you guys to do, I love this. And we're going to turn and we're going to talk to our tables about what we think the author's purpose is. If you flip the page, the question 1 is asking, what is the author's purpose in writing bats take to the sky? So pick the best answer with your table, what you think the answer should be. And you can spend.
They are using information to tell us that bats are very healthy and lies, and that we actually wouldn't be healthy if bats were not because bats they pollinate most of the vegetables that we use, and we use vegetables to live.
Yes.
So they are a very important resource in life.
Okay, so on the count of 3, I would like us to shout out the answers that we came up with. 3, 2, 1. C. Very good. That is the correct answer. It's to inform the reader that bats are helpful and important to us, and we need to protect them. Okay, so as we can see, we have 2 more questions on this page. These are going to act as your exit tickets. You will be doing these independently. The first question is asking you to define and pick the best answer for author's perspective. Remember, this is whenever the author's using language and how they feel about how they're writing. The third question is asking you to find 2 pieces of text evidence, one for author's purpose and one for author's perspective. If you don't want to have to write them all the way out, you can find them up here, something you highlighted or underlined, and draw an arrow and write text evidence 1. That's for author's purpose, why they wrote the article. And then you can also find text evidence 2 and write an arrow and draw that, and that is for author's perspective. It's the language we pulled out. I had you underline a few pieces of that so that can help you as well. So I'm going to have you guys start doing that independently, and please stay silent for those if you finished early. Yes? Yeah, that's perfect. Like for the third question, if you just want to write next to it, let's see, highlight which one you use it. Use right next to it, text evidence 1. Yes. You just sit here beside me until I. Yeah, exactly. Is any other